Taylor Parker looked exactly like a woman preparing to welcome a new life. She bought clothes, picked names, and glowed with the anticipation of motherhood. There was only one problem. There was no baby. The entire pregnancy was a fabrication. For nearly 10 continuous months, she successfully maintained this alternate reality. She convinced her boyfriend, closest friends, and family members that she was carrying a child. This elaborate performance functioned as the strategic foundation for one of the most disturbing crimes in modern Texas history. A fake pregnancy comes with a unique structural trap, a strict biological expiration date. You have exactly 40 weeks. As time runs out, the liar faces a brutal ultimatum: confess to a massive fraud or somehow produce an infant. That inescapable deadline pushed Taylor's deception into highly dangerous territory. A passive social fiction became a ticking countdown to premeditated violence. In the early months, Taylor relied on physical props to anchor her story. She purchased and consistently wore a series of prosthetic baby bumps to mimic the natural progression of a second and third trimester. To silence any doubts from her boyfriend or family, she backed up those physical props with paperwork. She distributed forged medical documents, including realistic ultrasound printouts. She constructed a meticulously detailed calendar of fake OBGYN appointments and shared regular updates about standard pregnancy milestones to keep everyone around her invested in the journey. The sheer volume of daily effort required to maintain the charade shows a highly organized mind. This level of planning requires constant, deliberate calculation, ruling out any theory of a sudden, impulsive mental break. By month 8, the defensive strategy of covering her tracks was no longer enough. The impending due date forced a shift in her tactics. She needed a solution, and she began actively preparing to find one. Digital footprints left on her devices would reveal exactly how she planned to solve her problem. Investigators uncovered a highly disturbing pattern in her internet search history during these final weeks. Her searches included queries about the stages of childbirth and specific delivery complications. But most concerning of all, she actively searched for locations of vulnerable, pregnant women living nearby. These keystrokes revealed the transition from deception to action. Taylor was now scouting for a target. Reagan Simmons Hancock was a young mother in the final stages of her own pregnancy. She was looking forward to welcoming a new child and had absolutely no reason to suspect the woman she crossed paths with. In October 2020, Taylor executed her plan. In a brutally violent and calculated attack, she took Reagan's life and stole her unborn child. Fleeing the scene with the infant, Taylor pulled up to a local hospital. She presented herself to the medical staff, claiming she had just given birth on the side of the road. But doctors and nurses immediately spotted severe inconsistencies. A quick physical examination confirmed what her story tried to hide. Taylor's body showed zero signs of having gone through labor or childbirth. The objective facts of medical science accomplished in minutes what her inner circle hadn't managed in 10 months. The entire delusion was instantly shattered. Hospital staff contacted the police. Within hours, the initial confusion in the emergency room escalated into a full-scale murder investigation. Investigators moved quickly, seizing her vehicle and electronic devices. Using digital forensics, they perfectly reverse-engineered her entire 10-month timeline of deception. When prosecutors presented their case in court, they laid out a mountain of evidence. The fake documents, searches, and prosthetic bumps pointed to absolute premeditation. The jury returned a swift verdict: guilty of capital murder. She was sentenced to death. The legal system provided a definitive answer, but a courtroom ruling cannot reverse the total destruction of Reagan's family, caused by nearly a year of quiet planning. The psychology driving a crime like this involves a terrifying blend of pathological deception and an extreme need for control. Taylor built a fantasy where she was a mother, and she was willing to force reality to match that lie. It serves as a grim reminder that predators rarely match our expectations. Sometimes they bypass our defenses by exploiting our deepest social trust, hiding comfortably behind the disarming image of an expectant mother. When a massive delusion is finally backed against the wall of reality, The desperate instinct to protect that lie can drive a person to plan, execute, and normalize the unimaginable.